as cathartic as the last episode was to get all the frustration out, it's a shame that overshadowed perhaps the most ridiculous start to a sim I have had yet on YouTube, if not ever. We are 32-5. I don't think I put enough emphasis on that in the last episode. 32-5, and I genuinely do not know how. Yes, Keller, Sagan, Pasternak, but like the second line, Jeff Skinner's doing well, but Nolan Patrick and Senyshyn aren't exactly, like, just how this team is succeeding. I do not know. It has to be led, obviously, by this defense. I mean, I could sit here and go over all of the stats, but we already did that at the end of the last episode. Still, it is insane to see how well this team has performed this season, and we will see, as dangerous as it is to stop, and it is dangerous. I believe in it. If you stop a sim when things are going well, all of a sudden you could have a completely different team at your disposal once you return. Now, we start off with a win against Chicago to start the new year, so that is nice. And we beat Nashville. We will play Hannu Herme against the Dallas Stars. 34-5, man. That is insane. And like I said, but this team, I just don't get it. But this episode in general will probably be live. I mean, I talk about it in the fantasy draft video, but obviously the past week or so on my channel has been a little bit weird with the amount of, real hockey we've been talking with Tukey's Takes videos and stuff like that. So it's been pretty crazy. But I don't know. I like I said, I mentioned it in that video. The fact that we've tuned down injuries and injuries don't happen as much means that it just makes more sense to run a video like this. Now, unfortunately, considering I normally record one of each episode back to back, it can sometimes put me in a situation like this where I just don't know what the hell to talk about, because there's only so much you can talk about from the information that I'm getting on screen. Yes, sweet, we have won 4 straight games to start this episode, as unbelievable as that is. But it's not like I want to sit here and point out every win, although we just keep fucking winning. Finally, we lose to Carolina. Finally. Holy shit, 37-6 on the season. 74 points. Could we go? I wonder, could we go without winning a game for the rest of the year and still make the wild card? I do wonder. I think that might be a possibility. But that's the thing that is a little bit unfortunate about the sim this season, is even if we have underperforming players, I'm not necessarily going to want to move anybody, because you don't want to mess with the chemistry. Like Nolan Patrick not performing too well, at least as of the start of the sim. Not like I would trade him, but you'd kind of want a bit more point production from him. But it's not like I'm going to move him or change his line mates, because things are going just fine for us. I think that is an understatement. So I don't know. We might just breeze here through the rest of this episode straight to the end of the season. Normally I like to stop and give you guys a chance, and I kind of did that towards the end of the last episode. I'd like you guys to have a chance to give me your input on what you think we should potentially do. But as you watch this, as we sit here and witness this happening before our eyes, it would be stupid to make a move. I really think it would be. This has been unbelievable. I think Evan Sawchuk is our defined starter at the moment. I mean, did I expect this to be a good team? Yeah, of course I did. But with the goaltending, maybe it was a little bit questionable. This is absolutely insane. And Hannu Herme got the win. We will keep him in for now. Obviously, tandem goaltenders for us this season. We won again. Oh my God. This has been insane. Place your bets now as we approach the All-Star break. Do we finish this season with more than 20 losses? We are 49 games into the season, and we haven't lost a game in overtime yet, at least until we play Florida, when it's definitely going to happen. I dare you, EA. Make it happen. Overtime loss coming up. Okay, well, that's worse. Sasha Chmelevski. I just don't care. Not what I was expecting. He gets injured. That is our first decent injury of the season. We will call up Victor Rask and put him in his spot. And then we'll probably trade Victor Rask just to get something for him instead of sending him back down. Although he wouldn't be the worst player to have just as a scratch. Wouldn't be the worst player. I don't think we could get away with sending him back down, though. And he might regress quickly. He might regress quickly if we have... we'll just do this. Actually, no, wait. We will do this. He might regress quickly if we just leave him as a scratched player. We beat the Florida Panthers 5-1. And that seals it. The Bruins will make it through the month of January with 1 loss on their record. Absolutely insane. Let's move into February. Hanu Herme stays in until he loses, but he'll probably lose right now because I said that. Chmelevski is back, and that is just in time to get this deal done. So let's get the lineups set. We have 88 points. Oh my god. Let's get the lineup set. We will look at trading Victor Rask. And yeah, man, this is crazy. We could easily finish with our highest point total yet. But let's go look to see at who we could potentially, or what we could potentially get in return for Victor Rask, who, of course, in the last episode we picked up for free on waivers. So let's see. He has a decent bit of value. Now, contract-wise, I don't want to send him to the Eastern Conference. I don't think... Actually, Colorado might work. Colorado might work. Let's see. Prospect-wise, who are they looking at? Yeah, they got some decent pieces in Colorado. But let's see here. Did we already take their picks? I think we already took their picks. And they would still be over the cap. Okay. LA? Can we get this to work with the LA Kings? We cannot. Shit. All right. And obviously, having, like, oh, let's do sim periods to avoid situations like this where I am struggling to find a trade, particularly to the Western Conference. San Jose! God damn it, come on. We might have to trade him to the Eastern Conference. Winnipeg is our last hope here, and it works, thankfully. So let's see. Can we get a second round piss? Yeah, let's get a second round piss. God. Can we get a second round pick? I doubt it. It didn't go through. What's our draft pick situation looking like? How would you define a second round piss? Would that be like would you be in the building for the draft and you go and take a leak during the second round? Would that be it? That's the best thing I can think of. I wish I wasn't thinking of it. God damn it. I'm tired. It's late. That's my normal excuse, and it always will be. All right. They don't want to take Victor Rask's contract. Damn. All right. That's a situation I wasn't expecting. Oh yeah, that's right. Maybe they don't want to take it. Can I just get rid of them in general then? We got them for free. I'll let you... Wow, they just straight up don't want to take it because of the salary cap. Alright, or because of the salary involved. How about we hold on to just a little bit of his contract? Just a little bit, and you give us your next 2 third-round picks. No. Alright, so this is a lot more complicated than I expected. Will that go through? You rat bastards in Winnipeg. $750. My God, how much money am I going to have to retain on Victor Rask here? How much money? $1 million. Oh my God, they won't take him. They won't take him. Are you serious? Let's just try to send him down then. That's unbelievable. All right, let's just try to send Victor Rask down. That was a waste of time. That happens a lot more frequently than what I show on here. But, well, you know what? Maybe let's keep him. You know, the one thing I was going to look at is the free agent list. Because, you know, much like the prior year with Brian Little, who I actually think is still a free agent, it might be worth trying to pick someone up to have as a little bit of insurance. Ryan Johansson's available, as is Brian Little. So we could send Rask down. But then again, why would I do that? As much as I'd like to do that, why would I? The team's doing all right. So Victor Rask will just stay scratched until he gets pissed about it. Then we'll send him down and we'll cut him at the end of the year because nobody, as I drop my controller, God damn it, nobody's going to take him. Can we just let's just move on. Is this thing broken? I don't think it's broken. That's good. This thing just flew out of my hands. God damn it. I have a slight panic attack every time I drop a controller. Oh my God. I have had horrific luck with the Xbox One. The console itself is fine. I've had 3 controllers break and 3 headsets since I picked up my original Xbox One when they first came out. It is unbelievable. You know, these things, like some of these controllers could survive a goddamn nuclear bomb. And in other controllers, you could drop it on a mattress and it'll just stop working. It makes no sense at all. And the headsets are even worse. That flimsy ass wire that just, it can quit whenever the hell it wants to. God damn it, Microsoft. But let's see here. Did I forget to put somebody back in the lineup? I didn't. They are still injured, so we will put Benson into the lineup, and we'll put Jay Beagle back over there. And then what was I looking to do? I think I was going to put in Hanu Herme. I think. It is a back-to-back coming up. So we'll give Herme the start against Edmonton. I wish I didn't. Riley Bruce is available. Not too bad. I had him in this series, did I not? Was that the fantasy series? Tough for me to recall sometimes. I'm going to take him. Why not? Let's take him. I don't think I'll pick up anybody major, like the Ryan Johanssons or the Brian Littles of the free agent market. As we actually lost, I just noticed too, we finally lost a game in overtime. He will still be at least a decent player to have as a depth guy down in the AHL. But let's see here. We need to get Sawchuk back in the lineup. And then as far as the AHL goes, I'm going to do something a lot of people have wanted me to do for a while. Maybe. I don't know. I want to get Bruce into the lineup. Maybe playing McAvoy as a, let's go best lines for a minute. Let's go best lines. It puts Bruce in. So let's take out McAvoy and we'll bring him back in as a forward. We need to get Picard back into the lineup. As it is, we have quite a few players that are scratched that I wish weren't, but we have a great situation defensively. Manlow will be the sacrifice here. So let's go back to defense. Let's get Charlie McAvoy in there, and that way we have a pretty solid situation. Let's put Sugrin over there, McAvoy here. Rest of the lineup, I don't care. So that's an interesting situation down in Providence. And actually, I haven't really paid attention to their lineup too much, or their record, I should say. How are the Providence Bruins doing? Not too great. Not too great. I can't say I'm surprised because offensively it's a little bit of a rough situation, although who knows, maybe McAvoy turns it around, and there is an injury. Haven't had one for a while. It is Zachary Senyshyn. So that will get Victor Rask back into this lineup. And in the AHL, let's go. Oh, what do we want to go with here? Let's see. I mean, Stromwall's an obvious call-up. What do we do? What do we do here? The line combinations are, God, it's questionable what we do. You know what? I think that works. I think having Stromwall there will work out okay. And then defensively, things are still looking good. We just need to get Lampkin back up to the top there. All right, that should be good. Let's see. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to finish. Yeah, I think we pretty much have to finish this episode, or finish the season in this episode. Because otherwise, a third episode of this particular season would be about 4 minutes long. Scouting, I said it in the fantasy draft video. I'm saying it in this one. I'm giving up on putting any stock into scouting because way too many times you could scout an area. You could probably scout an area, forwards from the WHL, for 6 weeks for the entire season, and there will still be somebody from that area that shows up as unscouted. I am almost certain. Could be wrong. That's just a thought. But it's an educated guess, as we will call it. 60 games into the year, we have broken the 100-point mark. 10 losses on the year. Will we finish with more than 20 losses is the question. Senyshyn is not yet available, or he is. He's just not fully healthy, so he will sit this next game against Detroit, which, by the way, the Detroit Red Wings, in real life, the Detroit Red Wings. I remember at the start of the year where I released a prediction video. Feel free to go find that on my channel. I was right about some, wrong about others, like Colorado turning it around. I mean, in fairness, who thought the Avalanche would have this bad of a year, you know? Who would have thought? Like, they are historically bad. But I said the Detroit Red Wings would finally miss the playoffs. Not exactly a completely outside the ballpark opinion, but some people gave me shit for that. And to that, I say, I was right. At least at the moment as I'm recording this, they are last in the Eastern Conference. But strange situation in that city right now. It is a shame, not to make this episode a downer, but of course it is a shame about their owner passing away. But yeah, just to think. The biggest shame about that, I mean, well, one of them. I mean, there's obviously a lot of negatives with that, is the fact he won't see that new arena open up in person. That is an absolute shame. But again, I'm not going to go on about that because that is a downer. But it's incredible. I mean, the Detroit Red Wings have been the constant in the NHL for so many years, and I know any Red Wings fan listening to this is just wishing I would shut the hell up. But don't worry, I will soon. I don't know. It's just crazy. It is crazy to think that this is more than likely finally going to be the year. But that said, this year has been crazy. Not, 51, 10-1 crazy, but this year has been absolutely ridiculous, especially within the Eastern Conference and how tight that race really still is. I mean, at least in the Atlantic, the Metro, their top teams are their top teams. Not exactly a surprise aside from the Blue Jackets, of course. But yeah, very, very interesting times in the NHL. This season, though, right here, the 2021-2022 season, it's almost like we're just waiting for it to end because it's... I suppose, what would be more exciting? Us just storming our way into the playoffs and having all that pressure of, oh my god, what if we fail? Or barely making the playoffs, because both have happened in the past. Senyshyn is healthy, so let's go best lines. Victor Rask, despite going back up a point, will be out for Chmelevski, and we need to get this lineup back in order. I think that is pretty much what we were looking for anyway. We just need to make that change on the right-hand side. Defensively, Bouchard will still be in. And we are good to go. Goaltending, who has the better save percentage right now? That would be Evan Sawchuk. He is still lighting the world on fire. I'm going to go best lines down in Providence just because I can't remember if somebody's hurt or not. And we will continue on. Was I supposed to put the backup goalie in? Or did it not matter? Shit, that's right. I was supposed to let Hermes start. You know what? God damn it. See, this is another reason as to why I tend to sim the game, come back, be like, hey, this is what happened. The menus, man, that's all I want. I know that there's the, assistant coach rotate goalies. I just don't feel like it works too well. Maybe they improved it this year. Last year for me, it didn't work well at all. But I really wish, right here, on this menu, you should be able to either A, go straight to edit lines from this menu, or B, you can hit a button, I don't care what button it is, the Y button, the right bumper, take your pick. It should change, it should rotate out your goalies for you from right here. That would save me hours of my life. It really would. I cannot imagine how much time I've spent doing exactly what I'm doing right now. You hit the B button, you go to edit lines, you switch it for one game, then you play it, then you switch it back, and it's miserable. Just give me one button press from the calendar to rotate goalies. Is that as important as other improvements you could make with this game? No, it isn't. That would certainly be a luxury improvement, but it would be one that I would greatly appreciate. That is for sure. Can we get the win against Columbus? We do. It's a 1-0 shutout. We are approaching 60 wins. Unbelievable. This is, without a doubt, the best team we have ever put together. Teams we have had, Matthew Strome goes down to injury, not that big of a deal. At least we have Victor Rask. But teams we have had in Quebec City, teams we have had in Vancouver, this team takes it. They are, without a doubt, the best collection of players we have had in a series. It is pretty damn ridiculous. Shane Finger down in Providence doing well, the future goaltender of this team. But for now, Herme and Sawchuk are getting it done. This team has won at least 60 games. Absolutely incredible. I only wish off the top of my head I could remember what the NHL record is for most wins in a season. I am completely drawing a blank on that and can't remember, which is a shame. But let's see here. We will go best lines again. Let's get that side fixed. Rask is out for Sasha. It's kind of a shame it puts him back in the lineup, but that's okay. It's a slight adjustment I have to make every time. How's Evan Bouchard doing? No points, he's a +2. You know what? That's not too bad. Could have been a lot worse. Let's get Sawchuk back in the lineup. Down in the AHL, what's their defense looking like? McIntyre, Stillman, McAvoy, Bruce, Picard, and Jarrett. Not too bad at all. That team, I mean, the offense is questionable for the Providence Bruins, but you'd like to think that they can make the playoffs. Speaking of playoffs, we have 8 games left in the season, and we have already clinched the Eastern Conference. I can't imagine how long ago that actually happened. And we lost 7-4 to Tampa. You know what? Whatever goalie was in, you're getting a second chance against Montreal. Come on. And you lost both games. Okay, well, I think that was Sawchuk that was in, wasn't it? I'm having a very hard time remembering at this point. I'm trying to focus on the fact that my jaw is killing me, which can happen when you talk. For at this point, like I said, I like to record fantasy draft videos and the Bruins videos back to back. I've been talking for a while. It was Sawchuk, by the way. Goddamn. I've been talking for almost an hour straight. Close to it. At least 45 minutes, if not 50. So yeah, that's tough when you're a one-man show. That is not too easy. But 60-14-2, I thought the game froze, and I would have lost all of my shit. But let's see here. Whoever's in it is Hanu Herme. He will get the majority of the starts. We are... What are we? We are 61-14-2. Guaranteed. Not guaranteed, actually. If we need to win one more game to avoid those 20 losses on the season, which would be insane. I mean, 62 wins is crazy enough. We lose to Buffalo. If we lose these last 3 games, if you said 20 losses, oh, of course, Jeff Skinner goes down to an injury. Shit, he's not out for too long, but he is going to miss at least a couple of games in the first round. Don't do this to us now. We've had a pretty solid season in terms of avoiding injuries. Don't fuck us over now, please. I beg you don't. I'm actually going to put Evan Bouchard up there instead of Carlo. We're going to put Sawchuk back in. Why do I keep going to the AHL? That is just habit. Can we get the win against the Minnesota Wild? We do. We will finish with less than 20 losses on the year. What an insane season. 64-15-2 as we hit the last day of the year. I don't understand how this team has had this much success. Like Toronto at 109 points is crazy. Like that is a crazy point total. And what we're about to do is unbelievable. 130 points. Can we hit 131? Can we hit 132 with a win over the New York Rangers? Let's find out. Last game of the year, it's a 4-2 loss, but the Bruins finish with a 64-16-2 record, 130 points. If we don't win the cup, if we don't win the cup, that is absolutely crazy. We won the President's Trophy by 17 points over the Blues. Let's take a look here. Goals for, it wasn't even close. Holy shit, it wasn't even close. Look at that goals for per game stat right there. That is crazy. Goals against the fewest as well. So 285 overall goalies, and we had the best goals against per game in the league. Power play, the third best power play in the league. And the penalty kill. The penalty kill, not too bad, 6th in the league. The AHL, I quickly want to check, just based off of how the Providence Bruins are doing, and they are returning to the playoffs as well. Things are looking up for us here in this series as if we haven't had enough success. I do want to start off by looking at the goaltending really quick. 55 games for Hermé, 30 for Sawchuk. I mean, great record for both of them. I think what it comes down to is that save percentage, and you could argue Evan Sawchuk should be the starter. I will leave that decision up to you guys. Let me know. Sawchuk, better in fewer appearances. Who gets the start in Game 1 of the playoffs? You look at the defense. Jeremy Waugh, 71 points. Hell of an acquisition. Chalowski has bounced back. Thankfully, he finishes with 70 points. Shea Theodore, 42. Valimaki, 21. And Lampkin, 16 points, but of course he has missed quite a bit of time. Brandon Carlo, only 6 points, which is shocking. But again, he is such a good fit for that third pairing shutdown role. Riley Bruce, of course, that NHL time was not on our team. Evan Bouchard, 21 games, no points. No points, but he is a shutdown defenseman, and he did just that. Looking at the forwards, 82 points apiece for Clayton Keller and Tyler Seguin, 70 points for Jeff Skinner. David Pastrnak with 61, not too bad. Nolan Patrick finishes with 49 points in 68 games. I'll take that. Nolan Patrick rebounded quite well. Stromwall, 45 points to Brinkat, 43. Gurianov, 41. Senishin, 38 in 74 games. That's a little bit more, it's a little bit low, I would say. Sasha, 34 points. Tufte, 33. Strome, 32. I'll take that. And then, of course, we had a couple of players get in there during some injuries that were sustained. AHL scoring is pretty much spread across the board. The defense, though, Riley Stillman still looking like a great player. McAvoy still doing well. He's a plus 20. Stillman's a plus 33. The goaltending, Shane Finger, has been run to the ground. 73 games played. Decent record with a .924 save percentage. So the goalie situation for us is actually better than we would have thought. At least than I would have thought, based on what was happening. But there you have it. You guys have a look at the stats. You can let me know, line combo-wise, what we should do. Of course, who should be the starting goaltender. And let me know, too, should Evan Bouchard be the defenseman in the lineup right now? Skinner and Lampkin, of course, are out injured. Let me know. You guys have all the information that you need to help me make a decision. I hope you did enjoy this video as we approach the half-an-hour mark. What a season! The best season we have had with any team in any sim. It's been over a year and a half, or about a year and a half, since I've been here on YouTube, and we've done quite a few series already, so that is definitely saying something. And as we wrap up this episode, let's find out who we play in the first round. But before then, I hope you did enjoy. If you did, of course, make sure to hit that like button to help support me and my channel. That little bit extra that you can do to help spread the word, of course, with the way YouTube algorithms work and all of that stuff. I have had people, even other YouTubers, say, hey, I saw your video in the recommended videos on the right, checked it out, pretty good. So anything you guys can do to help, of course, is more than appreciated. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to continue following what I do around these parts. The Boston Bruins will play the... that's anticlimactic, isn't it? We will play the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first round. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. I'll catch you next time.